Oh, hello, good morning. Welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe. That would make her, perhaps, smile. Hello, my peeps. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Hello, top of the morning to you, my dear. Are you walking the little baby? Oh, that's good. Okay. Hello. Okay, so today's story is about Hollywood. Yep, I told you. Today would be about Hollywood. So, my peeps, Hollywood is here. Yay! Let's go to Hollywood. My peeps are going to Hollywood with me. See, here they go. Reading your script over there. You might want to think twice. There's our transportation, script reading, play acting, and Hollywood itself. So let's all stick together, okay? Because something wonderful is about to happen. We are going to find out if they have ulterior motives in Hollywood for the little actresses that go over there that want to be movie stars like me. Because I was born and raised in Los Angeles and I wanted to be a movie star. So ill prepared for what was out in front of me. Ambition wasn't a problem. It's the direction I was headed that lacked clarity. Here's my picture when I was acting back then, my composite picture, and another composite picture that I had done over there with High Chase, great photographer, and his makeup artist, and really nice people, really, around there. But I lack clarity and direction. I wanted to be an actress, and I was firmly focused on succeeding in the movies, even if I had to start out in TV commercials and soap operas or sitcoms. I was willing to pay my dues. I lived down the street from the actor's studio in North Hollywood, and I started taking classes there. I would sit next to Terry Garr, and we would make plans for after class, but she would run off with one of the guys in the studio and leave me standing in the alley in the dust. But I still liked her anyway. But I was happy for her. I decided to take an extra class in the evening because I was told there would be producers there and we would have a chance to be considered for a movie. So I went into the theater where the class was being held. I had just turned 18 at the time, but I looked 15, like a child. I checked in at the ticket window, and the director came out, introduced himself. He was an elderly man, medium build, kind of tall, taller than me, and super accommodating. He led me up the stairs to one of the studios upstairs. It was like an old creaky, old wood floors and an old building. The studio was quite large and had a piano on one side next to the far wall. And the director started explaining the part I was going to play. I was willing and able. As I said, my ambition was to be famous. And, I wanted to be like Barbra Streisand, Olivia Newton-John, perhaps maybe one of Charlie's Angels. I really just wanted to be somebody. So the scene is about a couple of friends wrestling in the grass at the park, playing around. You get pinned down first, and then I twist around and twist the switch situation around and end up on the top of him, pinning him down, and then he ends up back on the top of me. So it was just kind of a wrestling match. I drew you a picture to kind of show you what it was kind of like with that scenario. Yeah, so he was on top of me in the end. And then he was explaining that it was part of the scene. And so I'm supposed to be acting, right? Right. So we get down on our knees facing each other and on the hardwood floor with this old man. And I'm like this bony little 98-pound little weakling. And we're like, suddenly I find myself pinned down to the ground with these khaki pants right here wrapped around my waist and this old man's crotch in my face. His white cotton shirt, sweaty and torn. And I just wanted out. I wanted out right then. I pushed him off my body and jumped up to my feet. He stood there looking at me. Well, got your nerve. Stood there looking at me. And, let's see. In his khaki pants. Suddenly I find myself pinned down. Where was I? And he looked like a little boy. Anyway. A little boy that forgot the rules. And so, the rules of the game, Mr. Smarty Man. I straightened myself up and looked at his pants that were wet in the crotch. Yikes. I turned to the door. He had leaned a chair up against the door to keep me inside. And he, put it underneath the doorknob. I looked at it and laughed and said, "Did you think that chair would keep me in here? Or from getting out of here?" I kicked the chair away from the door knob and walked out. But before I let him go, I said, "I'm ambitious, but I'm not for sale," and slammed the door, walked down the stairs, and never went back. Hollywood might just be too weird for the likes of me. So, Hollywood. There we are, in Hollywood. And anyway, it seemed to be a familiar place to me, as though I'd been there before, but right in the same place in Hollywood. Seemed like I'd been there, but I was somebody else, somebody much more important than I am now. It feels kind of like deja vu-y. The underlying seediness of the place. No matter how many times you pull up that red carpet, you can still smell the mildew coming up from under the underground, seeping through the wooden cracks in the floor, like the dead corpses of movie stars are still underneath there, under the sidewalks. And that's why I get bored of these stories coming out of Hollywood about the producers and directors and how they behave and, the horror stories. They have a horror story to match every set of footprints on that sidewalk. And so if you continue to migrate to Hollywood, to the Hollywood Hills, to Hollywood, California, in search of fame and fortune, only to realize the price you pay may be the price of your soul, because if you think that these villains being exposed and locked up changes anything, when you cage them up like beasts, there's another beast. Things don't ever change in Hollywood. They just get worse and even more rude. And so, color me not surprised when someone complains about sexual misconduct in Hollywood. Sexual misconduct is their next production, my friends. It should be expected. So if anybody hasn't warned you yet, you've just been warned. If you go to Hollywood, expect to be you know, deceived. That's the word. Okay? Deceived. Bye-bye, Hollywood. Ta-ta. Believe in yourselves. You're my peeps.